Hi everyone, today I'm going to be going over my book hot takes. So I've got my notebook, my pen, and my root beer. So I'm all ready to get started. Okay, book hot take number 1. Big physical TBRs is not normal. If you really want to be reading those books, I think that you would make that a priority and you wouldn't have like a huge stack like that tall or something. I don't know. You could have like one on your phone, like in your notes app. You could even get them from the library when you're actually ready to read the book. But I feel like having a huge stack of books that you've already paid for is just not the move. Like, those books are literally just sitting there collecting dust. My physical TBR right now is like 5, maybe 4, because I bought a box set of a series, and that's really what's adding that. Okay. I think sometimes I let them build up, but I mean, really, they shouldn't be that huge. Okay. Number 2. Cracking the spine of a book is not terrible. This is my notebook right here. Like, this is me, well, it's more bent because I've been like doing this to write in it. But like, doing this for a book is not bad. Like, I'm literally reading the book. Like, if you're trying not to crack it, you're like doing too much, you know? Like, it's okay that you can tell that a book is read, you know? I mean, like, doing this and all that, like, that's doing too much. But I think that a cracked spine is totally normal. Okay, next. Smut is not necessary in romance, but no one said it is. So before I get into it more, this list is comprised of like hot takes that I've done research on, like seen lots of people saying, or maybe not saying, and some of it is mine, but are my hot takes. Okay, so I'm gonna reread it again. Smut is not necessary in romance. I agree, but no one said it is. Like, people talk about how like, oh, smut is romance, but not everyone agrees with that. I think that romance itself is like the tension and the feelings and the mental attitudes toward one another, like regarding the characters. And smut is just like, everyone normalizes talking about it, and I'm like, if you're gonna be so okay with talking about it and doing it in your daily life, well, maybe not you, but if you're gonna be so okay with doing it in your daily life, what's the problem with fictional people doing it? Like, if you yourself are, you know, getting freaky, why aren't these fictional characters allowed to? Like, I feel like that's hypocritical. Audiobooks don't count as reading. I said it. You're listening to the book, you're not, like, reading it. Like, it's just not the same. Like, it's, you know, it's just different. I don't know how to explain it. Now, I wouldn't say that audiobooks are, like, totally, like, they don't count at all. I think that they definitely count towards, like, reading, I guess, but I don't think that listening to an audiobook is reading. Reading's with your eyes, and you're listening to an audiobook with your ears. Like, it's just not the same thing on a technical level, and I think that's the baseline for it, and I think that's fine. Like, I'm not being like, oh, you're a fake reader. Like, it's just not reading. Like, that's just the thing. It's just not reading. Also, sorry if I keep, like, looking away from the camera. I, like, can't. It's, like, I don't know. Okay. YA books are allowed to have spice. I said it. Okay. So maybe not like, okay, I don't think that, like, really heavy spice should be included in these books, where it's like every single page is something going on, you know? But I think that it's okay for the characters to have physical relationships, because if we're being real, these young adult books are catered towards young adults. And I mean, kids, like teenagers or whatever, going through like these changes, they are feeling these things. Like, if you really want to think about it, YA books, the majority are geared toward high school aged people. And that's, I feel like, when people really start getting in tune with themselves and their bodies. And so I just think that we need to, like, think about who's actually reading these books. Like, 10-year-olds aren't reading young adult books because they're not a young adult. They're not even a tween. But, like, a junior in high school reading a young adult book and there's like a whatever scene, if they don't want to read it, they can just skip it. Or if they're like, I do this every Friday night, I don't care about reading it, you know. You really need to think about the audiences that are reading these books. People hate on romance books or smut because it targets women. Ooh. See, lots of people are like, romance books or smut or whatever, lots of people tend not to value romance books because they're mainly about romance. But with so many people who aren't like getting these things in their daily lives, like someone who's never experienced this, like, I mean, that's like kind of everything for them. I think that the majority of women who like romance books like it because they like to feel like that's possible. Like, someone can treat them like that and love them for all their flaws. So I really think that people, like how people will say that, like, the majority, like, for example, cheerleading sparks such a debate about being a sport because it's majorly women. Like, it's focused on femininity, kind of. That makes sense. It's focused on women. And so people are like, I mean, even like cheering on the sidelines of a football game is questioned, even though they're doing stunts, they're doing flips, they're doing this and that. And I'm like, this is basically a sport. Like, gymnastics is kind of, I think that cheer is definitely the most questioned about being a sport, but it's because it's predominantly women. And I will stand on that hill. I will die on that hill. Well, maybe not die. Annotations aren't necessary. If you want to annotate, that is great for you. If you like digging into the plot, that is all you. But I don't feel like, I think that annotations are fine to be normalized. Like, there's nothing problematic with it, but I do think that it makes a lot of people feel inferior because it's like people maybe think that they aren't like as smart or as intelligent because they're not doing a deep dive into the book like that. But honestly, me personally, if I'm reading a book, I may find like nothing to annotate on. Like, I don't really want to pause everything that I'm doing and write down, could this possibly connect to that? Like, I don't really feel like doing that, you know? See, this is kind of a lukewarm take. I feel like annotations aren't really a hot topic. Maybe they are. I don't know. Okay. People will call a romance book pure smut because of two scenes. For example, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I don't know how many scenes there are in that, like, smut, but I bet it's around 3 or less. And it actually just makes me mad when there's like 2 or 3 scenes or something and everyone's like, this is pure smut. And I'm like, okay, this is like 2 chapters out of the like 600 page book and you're just ignoring the rest of it. I think that people will like cling on to anything that they can find to help, like, further their ideas. Kind of off topic, but still hot take number 9. Aaron Warner Anderson is not short. The guy is 5'9". Like put him in some heels, that's 6 feet. Like you need to calm down about that. I've seen, like, videos of, like, people speaking about it to the author, and I'm like, that's not short. Like, that's above average. I don't know what average is. That's just my guess. But I really think that that's doing too much. I really don't think that there should be, like, a debate on this, but apparently there is. So I felt I had to bring it up. Okay, let's see what's next. Popular book talk books are popular for a reason, and if you actually don't like it, that's fine. But I feel like it's low-key crazy to be dogging on a book that you've never read. Like, I mean, maybe Haunting Adeline. I've heard crazy things about that. In general, like, if you're like, oh, Fourth Wing, it's so overhyped, blah, 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 I don't even want to read it, it's just pure smut. Like, if you don't give it a try, like, give it a try, and then you can tell me that it sucks. Like, I don't care what kind of book you like, but you need to, like, have a foundation on which you stand with your beliefs, you know? Like, it really is that deep. Next one. If you're going to check out a book at a library, be considerate of other people also waiting to read said book. For example, at my local library, if you, like, have a hold on a book, like, you either have 3 weeks or a month to read that book. But I mean, for someone who's, like, third place in line to get a book, that's like 3 to 4 months. And I may be a little biased in this because this happens to me all the time, but currently I am in that exact position, and it just infuriates me. Like, it makes my blood boil. I'm like, you don't understand how long I've been waiting on this. I would have that book read in 2 days. Not dogging on slow readers, but, like, it's like when a slow walker is right in front of you on a sidewalk and you actually can't get around, because I cannot get around and just read the book. Like, I just can't do it, and that's what's so infuriating. I feel like I'm never gonna read these books because it's gonna take at least, like, 3 months. Next one. This is something that my 12th grade English teacher would say, and I've never heard anyone else say it, but I think that it's very true, so I wanted to include it, even though it's not really a hot take, but it may be. Okay, you are only as interesting as the books you read. Period. Shout out to you if you're watching this. I know you're not, but, like, I mean, that's just so true, you know? Because it's like, if you don't want to give anything a try, if you're just a stick in the mud about everything, if you're just, like, Debbie Downer fan club president, like, just admit that you're boring. That you don't have an imagination, that you're not willing to give anything a try. Okay, if anything looks slightly different, I just absolutely demolished my phone. Went totally off the rails. So, if anything's changed, just ignore that. I tried my best. But, okay, back to the topic. You're only as interesting as the books you read. When you read more and different variants of books, like, you're opening your eyes. And, like, I really think that it strengthens your empathy because you're connecting with these fictional characters that you never would have. Like, you're considering emotions and feeling things that you would not have. And I think that it is that deep. Like, what you read, like, I don't care if it's, like, Charlotte's Web or, I don't know, Binding 13. Like, you're getting out there and as you progress, you get more interesting, you get more personality, and you get more like depth to you because you understand these things, and like you're trying, you know? Like someone who's always reading compared to someone who's not, you can tell. You can tell when someone says, "Oh, I haven't read a book since 3rd grade." Yeah, I can tell. Okay, so that was my whole list of my hot takes. That is 12. So if I've made anyone angry, I'm sorry. But I'm kind of not, because sometimes I will get pressed over people's hot takes. But that's just a part of life. I love seeing like not arguments, but like discourse and like actual thoughts being processed over things like these. So like if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. But because I mean, I'm always open-minded to new like ideas, takes, whatever. But you know, sometimes you just need to open yourself to others' opinions. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. See y'all in the next one. Bye.